this point we have covered a slew of scary and disturbing fairy tales from across the globe, but now we have our sights set on Russia, who has some equally spooky tales for us to feast on. So today on Top 5 Scary Videos, I'm going to be counting down our list of the top 5 scary Russian fairy tales. Before we begin though, I have an exciting announcement. We have a brand new channel that we just launched called Top 10 Central Dark, which is a place for all things horror. You'll find me over there, and I'm sorry to let you know I may be here less frequently on Top 5. Don't fret, I'll still be here, but you'll start seeing some new faces. One new face. Anyway, we will be over on Top 10 Central Dark reacting to some truly terrifying content, so subscribe and say hi. Our first video drops this Friday, and then a second one dropping September 18th. I'll see you there. Also, before we begin, be sure to stick around until the end of the video where I'll be responding to some of your comments. And with that, let's jump in. Coming in at number 5, we have The Wicked Sisters. The Wicked Sisters is a Russian fairy tale written by Alexander Afanasyev and was included in a book of kings and queens. The story tells of Prince Ivan who hears 3 beautiful sisters talking one day. The older 2 sisters say that if he were to marry them, they would sew him a marvelous shirt. The youngest says she would bear him 3 sons, with the sun on the forehead, the moon on the back of their heads, and stars to each side. The older sisters envied her and bribed her servants, and when she gave birth to her sons, she declared that they stole them and then hid them in an arbor in the garden. Then they presented the prince with first a puppy, then a kitten, then an ordinary child. The prince demanded justice for her deceiving him. The chief justice decreed she would be blinded, put in a barrel with the child, and thrown out to sea. If she were guilty, she would die, but if she were innocent, she would emerge. This was done, and Prince Ivan married the oldest sister. The substituted child grew by the house, becoming more reasonable, and eventually commanded the barrel to come ashore and burst. Then commanded a bathhouse to appear, in which he restored the princess's sight, and then a palace to appear. The arbor from the palace was in it. He had the princess bake 3 cakes. The 3 princesses appeared and said that whoever brought them those cakes and told them of their mother would be their brother. This is like a fucking riddle. The princess lived there with her sons and the child. One day they gave hospitality to monks who went on to Prince Ivan's kingdom and told him of them. He immediately went to the palace and knew them for his wife and sons. The older sister was then thrown into the sea, and this time the barrel sank to the bottom. That was a roller coaster ride of emotions. Essentially, the older sister sucked, they stole the children, hid the other sister, and they were liars. The end. Coming in at number 4, Mermaids and Vodyano, the Water Killers. Now this one walks a fine line between folklore and fairy tale, with Mermaids and Vodyano, the Water Killers, hailing from Russia. Now it is said that Russian mermaids, also known as rusalka, are those who died tragically, whether that be by drowning, suicide, or even dying unwed. It is said that at night, the Russian mermaids will hide in the bushes not far from the river and wait patiently for their next victim to emerge. If a person gets too close to the river's edge, the mermaids will take them down and tickle them to death, which is really strange. Now Vodyano, on the other hand, are said to be the spirit of the rivers, lakes, and swamps. They are the masters of the mermaids and can ascend to the sky and create new forms of water, as well as drown people, particularly women who go swimming in the water after sunset. Coming in at number 3, Buginka, the Evil Spirit. Now this is another story that walks a fine line between folklore and fairy tale. The Buginka is said to be a female personification of the wild force of nature, which is pretty damn cool. Russian folklore states that she attacks women during childbirth, proceeds to replace their babies with changelings, startles the horses, and then finally destroys the fishing nets. She is said to appear in various forms. For example, she could be living in a swamp, river, forest, lake, or even on the mountains. In some cases, it is said that when a woman passes away during childbirth, committed suicide, or killed someone, they would become a Buginka after death. Some folks even believe that witches can summon and pray to Buginka in order to get air or even wisdom. In other areas of Russia, people state that Buginka will slide into women's beds and whine under the bedcloths, which sounds utterly bizarre. What does that even mean? She might also appear during a wedding party to serve the guests with poisoned vodka, or even lure brides into swamps to die. Lovely stuff. Coming in at number 2, The Death of Kotshee the Deathless, another fairy tale created by Alexander Afanasyev. The story appeared in the Red Fairy book, as well as in a Russian book that I cannot pronounce, and I'm not even going to try. Anyway, the story revolves around Ivan Tsarevich, a man who had 3 sisters. The first of 3 is Princess Maya, the second Princess Olga, and the third was Princess Anna. Now after Ivan's parents passed away and his sisters married 3 wizards, Ivan left home in search of his sisters. It was then that he met Maya Morevna, a beautiful warrior princess who he went on to wed. How sweet. However, after a while she informed Ivan that she would be going to war, telling him not to open the door of the dungeon in the castle that they live in while she's away. Now, like any sane person, Ivan became overcome with curiosity and opened the door as soon as his wife left. And in there he discovered Kotshee, chained to the wall and emaciated. Kotshee asks Ivan to bring him some water, and Ivan accepts. He then goes on to drink 12 buckets of water with his magical powers returning to him. He then proceeds to tear off his chains and disappear into thin air. Not long after, Ivan discovers that Kotshee took Maya away, so Ivan chased after him. When he reached him, he grabbed him, but Kotshee yells to let him go. Ivan refused, and in turn Kotshee killed him, put him in a barrel and threw that barrel into the sea. However, all is not lost. Ivan was revived by his sister's magical husbands, who informed Ivan that Kotshee had a magical horse, and if Ivan had a chance at taking him down, he should visit Baba Yaga and try to get one too. Ivan ultimately completes all of Baba Yaga's tests, received the horse, and killed Kotshee by burning his body. The end. And finally, coming in at number 1, Baba Yaga the Witch. Now, the most famous story featuring this evil witch is titled simply Baba Yaga. The story begins with a seemingly happy family, consisting of a father, a mother, and 2 children, depending on the version. Now, the family would often play together, and even when the mother passed away, the family was still happy. However, everything changed when the father married a second wife in an attempt to make the children happy, by having another mother figure. However, the new wife mistreated the children, feeding them scraps of hard bread, and forcing them to do chores while she spoke ill of them to the father. However, one day the new wife planned to get rid of the children for good and asked them to go to their aunties in the woods to fetch a needle and thread. Classic move. The children knew of the stepmother's plan, but there was nothing they could do, so they went to their real aunties for advice. She was powerless to help them, but she did give them a large piece of ham, a ribbon, and a handkerchief, and gave them the advice to never say bad things about people. The children left the aunt and headed back into the forest. It was then that they came across a strange looking tree, and it was on this tree that they tied the ribbon. Soon after, they reached the house of a witch, whose home stood on bony chicken legs with fences as high as the eye could see. Near the cottage, they encountered a maid crying and a dog gnawing on an old bone. The children gave them their handkerchief and ham, respectively. They knocked on the door, and Baba Yaga answered and invited them in. She then went to fetch the needle and thread for the children. The maid was then ordered to fill a bath and prepare spices to cook the children. The children begged the maid for help, so she poked holes in the sieve she was using to run the bath, making the bath take longer to fill. The children then spotted a thin-looking cat waiting by a mouse hole, and they offered it a piece of ham, which it ate. The cat then gave the children a towel and a comb and told them to quickly escape while it distracted Baba Yaga, and that they did. They ran as fast as they could, throwing the comb and the towel behind them in order to keep Baba Yaga from catching up to them. Baba Yaga then cursed the maid for allowing the children to escape. The end. Well, there we have it. Do you guys agree with our list? With any Russian fairy tales that we missed? Leave us all your thoughts and feelings in the comments down below, and perhaps we can do a part 2. Before I go though, I just want to respond to a few comments from one of our last videos, top 5 scary Rando Nautica stories. Akiko Fukuwara said, always wanted to try Rando Nautica, but I am terrified it will lead me to Lucy's lair and I won't ever escape. By all means, you should try it, download it now, see what happens. But if you show up at my door, there might be consequences. Eric Pitzer said, hey, Top 10 Central Dark is coming up my birthday, thanks for the present. You're very welcome. I planned it all around your birthday, Eric. You're welcome. Angel Ray said, how can one person be so cute yet so scary at the same time? Love Lucy so much. Thanks. Thanks. I rarely get called cute, so appreciate it. You're one of the few to think that. Ron Simpson II said, life is random. Preach. So true. Did you know today is supposed to be a special day? Did you know that, Chris? August 27th.
What's special about it?
Well, TikTok says it's special. There's like this trend going around where it's like time is a thing that you put on the wall, and it's fucking.
TikTok says so, but it's not right. It's not true.
It's fucking shading TikTok. TikTok said August 27th, manifest your dreams and they're gonna come true. I manifested last night. Me and Joss manifested hard. Christine Spring said, I love Lucy, can't wait for the new channel. I can't wait to see you over there. Can't wait to see you all over there. You better come see me, because that's where I'm gonna be. Sage Pilgrim said, today's Lucy fashion commentary. Insert commentary from 2 previous videos. New lighting, pinky, stripy, Terror Queen. I don't like recycled content. Also, I wasn't wearing a pink shirt, I was wearing a blue shirt. Get with the times. And on that note, if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another scary vid. Until next time, see you later.